Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good night, wherever and whenever you're listening to this. Welcome to today's Town Hall, your Bitaxe Townhall or your news podcast, whatever you want to call it. We are sitting at Town Hall number 32, and I'm glad to be your host. I'm Clue, and I'm thriving because I want to go over a couple new nice things and hopefully interact with you guys as much as possible, because we do this obviously always live, and the audience here in Discord is just amazing. It's good to see plenty new people and plenty people that I do know in here as well, back again. So hey, to everybody in the audience, it's good to be here. I hope all of you can hear me loud and clear. Just a usual check. And with that, I think we can straight up just join or jump into things that are happening. So the first thing that you probably have noticed is that we finally released the version 2.6.1, and now there's a version 2.6.2 for your Bitaxe. Probably a little bit confusion. What is it? Why is it there? It's a minor thing. It's basically nothing, but I'll explain this in just a second. The cool thing about the version 2.6.1, which was originally named 2.6.0, and I was planning to release this as the version 2.6.0 again, but then a couple of people here in Discord told me, hey, well, you obviously released the version, and a release is a release. Don't do the same number again. So, well, we got the version 2.6.1 instead of 2.6.0. It does have plenty of new features, plenty of new nice things. It was way too long when it comes to the update cycle, probably like 2.5 months since the last update. But I think it was a good update, or I do believe, it's a good update because it features plenty of things that are interesting and important to the audience overall, and it fixes minor bugs and inconvenient things as usual. I'd say, like, updates are usually there to improve stuff. We do see this on all these repos that we do have, from the hardware to the software, and with that, I don't want to go over all these changes. If you want to read through them, just make sure to go over to the GitHub repository. You can find this on bitaxe.org, and then just ESP Miner and take a look on the releases. It's a long list. I made a video about it, and it was like 30 minutes. It was probably the longest video I did about just an update for your Bitaxe, which was a little bit funny or hilarious. I don't know. It's quite a nice thing to do that many updates, but still, we're not done. There are so many other things that needs to be introduced or implemented. For example, one of the things that has been asked, I'd say probably for like 1 year now, is the BAP, the Bitaxe Accessory Report. And people are always asking, well, when is it going to happen? We want to use it, and we want to utilize the BAP. Well, we haven't touched it since we introduced these ports on the version 2.0.205, a board version, I believe, or on the version 403. I'm not 100% sure. On one of these board versions, we introduced the BAP port, but we never really used it. The idea behind it is that you can plug in components and utilize some sort of a protocol that does communicate between the Bitaxe, the ESP on the Bitaxe, and any other device. There are some ideas around there, and a couple of people created an issue on GitHub, and they're commenting and discussing a little bit about what would this protocol look like, because Scott and I, we discussed a couple of things about it, how it should look like. He said, well, there's this GPS thingy like protocol communication, which is open source, and the standard is pretty good. We should keep it on the same track. But, well, apart from just discussing about things and just thinking about what could be done with it, nothing really has happened. But a couple of weeks ago, Crypto Eyes out of this community here, he said, well, guys, I'm pissed about it, that this is not happening. So he donated a couple bucks, $100 over to the OSMU Lightning wallet, and said whoever implements the BAP port first receives this. So it's sitting there, it's waiting for anybody to introduce or implement a version that everybody from these ESP miner maintainers is happy with. And then I do hope that somebody is trying to get this bounty, because I mean it's a nice thing and it's really generous of him doing that. On the other hand, it's a big topic. It's like you need to make sure that all these things align together. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I've seen a couple of people trying to work on it, but I haven't really seen any code yet. A couple of people claim they do try to work on it, which is good, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully we will see an ABAP port protocol very soon, so that things such as, I don't know, like the tracking devices, or tracking in terms of tracking the sun and using solar for your BitX and stuff like this, will autonomously work with the BitX and ramp up or downclock the BitX so that it utilizes not too much energy when it comes to something like solar. The whole solar scene is it's insane and it's addictive. Don't try this at home. It's really addictive. Yeah, well, that's probably my 2 cents to the BAP port. I haven't had time to look into it properly, so I'm a little bit sad about this. But I mean, the thing with the BAP port in general is like it's a feature that needs to be written and it needs to be implemented, and we do have so many other things. And I'm not trying to uh, talk bad about the BAP port. It's a nice feature, and I'm really looking forward to see it. I myself want it because I have so many stupid ideas that I want to do with my BitX, but I just can't. I just can't. I don't have enough time to do that. So I'm really looking forward to anybody who's coming up and introducing code for it. That would be awesome. Uh, yeah, well, I need to point out, as always, these town halls are not me, or hopefully not always me, just sitting here talking to you guys, explain to you what has happened in the last couple of weeks. It's also my way of trying to communicate with you guys. So whenever you do have any questions or feel like you need to ask anything, feel free, raise your hand. I'll bring you up on stage. If you don't want to be talking on the stage, that's totally fine. You can use the town hall chat. There's like a chat icon right next to this on Discord here, and you just can type in a couple of questions that you do have. So if you do have a couple of questions, it would be nice. I'm looking forward to answer them. But unless that's happening, I'm obviously just talking about news and other things that are going on in this scene. Well, I also want to point out something that we've seen. I'm really glad about this. I do see more and more interaction again on the Discord server. Last couple of weeks, or I'd say like 2 weeks ago, it was feeling a little bit weird on the server. It was not that much happening, not that much going on. People are not really communicating with each other. But now it seems like it's shifting again. People are back again, asking questions, going back and forth, which is good. And I'm really looking forward to see this more often. So that's a huge shout out to everybody who is in this community and is just, I don't know, thinking about stuff. So yeah, there's so many things going on, and I'm currently thinking about which one of them I should talk about. I mean, one of the newest things that is out there is the Eco Miner, the newest one. I'm talking about things that are built and put together. Phil31 here in this Discord server, he brought up the Eco Miner, which is, if I'm not mistaken, 8. Phil, please correct me. It's 8 of the BM1362s, right? It's a huge device. It's a little bit insane. He was testing on a couple of different frequencies and was achieving interesting numbers, hash rate and efficiency wise. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. It's 12 BM1370s. Oh my goodness. I like, if you guys have never ever tried to use or try to solder yourself a BitX, I'm not really suggesting it, but if you want to get pain in the ass, try it. It's worth it. It's not fun, but it's worth it. There's a thing that I've seen over the past 2 years with these ASIC chips. When it comes to ASIC chips, the easiest one, in my personal opinion, is the BM1397. This one is totally easy to solder. When it comes over to the BM1366, it's okay. It's sometimes a bitch, but it's okay to solder. When it comes to the BM1368, that's totally screwing you. This one is not nice. And the BM1370 is even worse. Now imagine you need to solder 12 of them. For fuck's sake, that's insane. That's hilarious. That's mind boggling. Ah, alright. Sterling here in the chat is asking, can you give some insights if you have any for the bit Y eggs? You mean, what is the bit Y eggs? Bit E eggs? Bit Y eggs? Or the Cyber 8? So the Cyber 8 is, I do know some stuff about this one. So Tiny Chip Hub, which is a manufacturer, he is also doing a couple of things. He for example is working all the way on these multi-chip devices. Usually in this Discord you will see the Bitaxe from the Max to the Gamma. Then we have created the Bitaxe Hex, the original one, the 302 model, which was working okay, but then we want, or not we, but McFighter wanted to change a couple of things, make it more generous or more better to produce and to use. Yeah, that kind of failed. There are a couple of bugs in it. Not bugs, you can fix them, but hardware-wise, it's a little bit complicated there. And what was happening was they were trying to upscale the Bitaxe Hex, the original one, because the original one was using the BM1366 chips, so the chips out of your Bitaxe Ultra. And then they created the Supra eggs or the Supra Hex Supra. I don't know. The naming scheme that we do have is pretty stupid, but whatever. So he put on the BM1368 chips on it to improve the hash rate and obviously get just more hash rate out of it, which was working okay, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have any of these devices, so I'm not making any advertisement or anything else for them. I don't know. I don't have any of these devices, but they tried to do the same with the BM1370, and they quickly found out, well, that's not going to happen because the TPS is not really working the way they need to. They needed to have it on the device or on the board in general. Yeah, and so they quickly figured out, well, that's not going to happen with the hex design. They need to modify it a little bit, and that's what they're doing. I don't know if they have open sourced it or if they will open source it. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll definitely scratch their back and tell them, well, guys, open source it. It's needed, please. Let's see. I don't know. If they don't do it, that's going to be probably interesting. But other than that, I don't know more about this. I have no insights in anything else. And from the pictures that you showed there, I don't know what these other boards are. It looks like I probably have seen them. I probably have seen them here. So in the Discord server, we do see pictures here from a regular Bitaxe to the right side, and then smaller versions to the left. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen them here on Discord or on X, I don't know. As far as I do know, these are just other boards that are trying to reduce the size of the Bitaxe in general, make it smaller, which is a nice approach, and I'm looking forward to see this in production or out there in general. The Bitaxe is from Be Evolved. Oh, there we go. So it's from Be Evolved. See, so there we go. Well, I don't know. I've not looked into that. If I'm not mistaken, there was also another one trying to utilize solar panels directly from him. There are some interesting designs happening here. Sometimes they get produced, sometimes they don't. But yeah, well, this Bitty Eggs, probably that's why there's this name Bitty Eggs, in terms of it's a nicer version of the Bit Eggs. It's because it's smaller, it's tinier, Bitty, tiny eggs. I don't know. Maybe that. I don't have any more insights into that. Let's see. We do have another question. Have they been successful in mining a solo block? So the only devices that we do know, as far as I know, I could be wrong here, is the only devices that ever managed to find a block so far is a Bitaxe Ultra and a Bitaxe Ultra. Or no, a Bitaxe Max and a Bitaxe Ultra probably. The first one was probably Bitaxe Max because it was between 300 and 500 gigahash. And the second block that we have recorded was on an Ultra from the naming scheme. So far, there are no found blocks on a Bitaxe Supra or Gamma, but well, these devices are way more potential on the hash rate, so that's probably going to happen sooner than later. Good Dice is also sharing in the chat here one of his own boards that he's currently developing for his solar stuff, where he is pointing out to the BAP. Yeah, the BAP is needed. It is definitely needed, and I do hope somebody gets down there and implements it. What about the shit eggs? My personal fave toilet seat wall. Oh my goodness, Marshall, that's insane. So for those of you who are not aware of this platform called X, of, I don't know, some weirdo out there in the internet, it used to be a nice platform. There, a couple days ago was the 1st of April, and Solo Mining was probably playing a little bit around with AI and creating the shitty eggs, which was basically like a blob on a shit blob on the Bitaxe, and it was stating there, coming soon. You can mine all your shit coins with it. It doesn't even care. It was a great one. That was really a great one. But it was obviously an April's Fool. We had plenty of people joining into this community just to ask one specific question. Hey, well, can you create a Bitaxe for the Casper or for any other of these cryptocurrencies? And our usual answer when it comes to the OGs here, Scott, Ben, all the other people that are in here, is, well, good luck. Try it yourself, but we are not going to do it. The only thing that we are interested in here is reverse engineering ASIC chips that are specifically designed to mine on Bitcoin on the SHA-256D algorithm, nothing less. And we're not looking into that. But, well, yeah, Marshall, I'm not really sure if you're on the right track there. X is different, I'd say. I don't dislike it, but it's different. I do prefer Noster from time to time, but yeah, Noster is sometimes too slow as well. It's, I don't know, these social networks are their own thing. Also, we talked about if there's any confirmation about finding blocks with other devices, and PMax was pointing out, at least I confirmed that a block can be found on the NodeQX Plus by crafting a Stratum test server that uses data on the found block. Yeah, that's totally correct. What you can do is set up a Stratum server, create a block template, and let your miner work on it until it finds the block, which can take a while, but if you choose a very old block, it gets pretty quickly done, and therefore you can verify that these things work. Also, the same thing happened, for example, or a similar thing happened with public pool. We do have plenty of people that are going out there and telling people, you can never find a block with public pool, it's scam or anything else. Well, the second block that was found, if I'm not mistaken, was not the second block, but the first public pool block was found on a self-hosted Umbra node. So if that's not proof enough to you that this software is working, I don't know, get the fuck out of here. For me, it always will be Twitter. Yeah, definitely, it will always be Twitter. I always call it out like Twitter. It's so weird to call it just X. I don't know. Shoot me. Abriel, you do have your own opinion. That's totally fine. I do have mine. I don't judge people about that. If they do like X or Twitter or whatever, it's totally fine. What I do think is a good approach here is to reduce all these scannings, but I'm talking about like pre-scanning the things that you're doing and posting on this platform and what gets filtered and what not. I don't know, it's probably okay, but on the same time, or on the same hand, if you do that, you will introduce scammers or these other idiots into the internet. But they are always lurking around and they're always trying to make a buck off of you. So be aware, guys. Also, that's a good thing to point it out here. If anybody of you ever receives a DM from any of us OSMU admins, don't trust it. Usually, we are not DMing you unless we call you out and, well, hey, I need to talk to you. Or usually what we do if we need to reach out to anybody of you is we put you into a private conversation channel on this server that only we can see and you. But we never DM you usually. So don't trust anybody DMing you and telling you, hey, you won like $1 million. That's not going to happen usually. Apart from that, I also want to point out for anybody who is listening to this later on, if you don't know this community and if you don't know about Open Source Miners United in general and what we're doing, make sure to check out osmu.xyz. And if you want to join into the Discord community, you can find it under discord.gg/osmu, which is just one link away from a new community that is just awesome. All right, we've talked about plenty of things here already. Let's see. We do have a small debate here in the chat. I'm watching and I'm enjoying. I do have some popcorn next to me, so it's going great here. Let's see, what else do we have? I also want to talk about a couple of things that I've seen. We do have a chat here in Discord called Firmware PR Review, which is basically a mid-thingy between the firmware tester and the firmware channel. What it's trying to do is when you write a pull request, you can go into this channel and ask for people to review it, like tag me, tag Scott, tag Muchachum, or anybody else of the maintainers, and ask, hey, can you review it? Can you give me your comments on it, please? That's usually happening there. And what I've seen currently from time to time is other people that are usually not contributing in terms of writing code or anything else, they're going in there and telling us if they have run this change successfully or not, which is awesome. I love to see that. So that's really going forward, and I just quickly wanted to point that out and thank everybody who's doing that, because it's never too late to thank all of you, because this whole movement, this whole scene here, Open Source Miners United, is just possible because of this community that believes in the system and the people that are using these devices and running them at home. And obviously some of them already found a blog, so somewhat it's addictive, it's different. It's not just you plugging in your machine and going into one of these big mining pools and then just get some daily sets. I don't know. By the way, while I'm talking about this, let me quickly read through a message that we do see here. I see a lot of miners who are also influencers showing demos of how to set up a Bitaxe, but it's not always throughout. Is there best practice guide or complete setup video for Bitaxe Gamma? Yeah, well, I do have videos. Probably the most viewed one there is the video that I did about the ultimate Bitaxe guide, where I do go over all the steps, like from how to plug in the 5-volt plug into your Bitaxe. Like, take the plug, take your Bitaxe, plug it in. I'm going over all the steps, like step by step, throughout. I'm trying to be as picky as possible there, but I need to do a renew of this video because it's a little bit too old and the firmware has changed. So this is planned for next week, that I do update this video, because it's always nice to have the people, to send the people a throughout setup guide, but it needs to be up to date. So yeah, it's out there. It's one of the videos that gets often recommended. If I'm not mistaken, 1 or 2 manufacturers are also putting a QR code to this video in their packaging. It's totally fine. It's not that hard, like literally. We do have this whole section of people that are just trying to make the Bitaxe granny proof. It's like granny proof sticker on it. That's what we're trying to do here, because we do see that people are sometimes having trouble with it. And usually that happens with people never even started up their own computer. I don't know. They only have used a MacBook and now they need to press a button or plug in a cable into another device. That can be confusing from time to time. And therefore, it could be that it's sometimes a little bit hard, but we do have people explicitly looking into all these changes that are happening and making sure they're as granny proof as possible, because your granny probably doesn't know what SSID means. So you need to tell her, Granny, that's your Wi-Fi. So now we change the section of SSID to Wi-Fi because it's Wi-Fi. It's not SSID, you know? It takes some time, but it's all right. And we're trying to make it as good as possible. That's also the reason why the whole UI has been split into these multiple sections. Now you do have a specific section for the pool and a specific section for the network. And now you can scan for your networks. So plenty of things are coming together there to make it as seamless and as easy as possible for the user. But it takes time, and the past 2 years were insane from the development. If you guys are new into this Discord server or new in general with Bitaxe, do yourself a favor. If you do have like a old Bitaxe Max or an Ultra, go into GitHub, go through the release page, scroll all the way down like to a 1 point something version and just try it out. It's insane how things have changed from back in the days to today. And I'm just sometimes buffed by that, but whatever. I'm a Windows user, not sure if there's benefit or disadvantage of Mac over Macs. No, literally there's no disadvantage. I mean, the usual step for setting up your Bitaxe is take your phone and just connect to it, because it opens up the Wi-Fi. It even tells you, hey, set up Wi-Fi is this, connect to it. And then you do that, and out of a sudden, a magic web page opens on your phone, and you see the web UI of your Bitaxe, and you can put in your Wi-Fi credentials, you can put in your own Bitcoin address, and you can change the pool, because there are no restrictions on the Bitaxe in general. You can do whatever you want with it, which is the best thing about the Bitaxe in general. We were talking previously about connecting to pools and stuff like this. And for those of you who are not bilingual or are not fluent in German, a couple days ago, I was on a podcast talking about mining centralization in general. And today a friend of mine reached out to me and told me, well, today I was not able to communicate with my Brains machine to the Brains license server. Guess what happened? Yeah, well, that was a funny story, and I quickly wanted to point this out to you guys. So if you do have miners at home and you're running the Brains firmware on it, a couple interesting things can happen. He was running an S19 and an S21 at his garage, and both of them are running on Brains OS. If you do like or dislike the firmware, that's on your end. But what was happening to him today was his S19 miner was no longer able to communicate to the license server of the Brains firmware, which was quite interesting. And the first thing that happened was that it was just spitting out issues on his web UI, and he was not able to click things, and he was not able to interact with it in general. And after a while, he was seeing it was stopping hashing, which was interesting. So then he rebooted it, and it was working again for 5 minutes. And then after like 5 minutes, it was not working, so he switched the pools. And what he was doing was quite interesting. He was switching the pools to the Brains pool. Then it was working for a couple of minutes again, and then switching over to Ocean to mine to this pool again. And it was working for half an hour, 1 hour. And then out of a sudden, he was taking a look into the logs of his machine. There was still no communication for whatever reasons to the license server of Brains. And it was stopping hashing. And there were some logs about, well, no communication with license server. I cannot verify the license, stopping mining. The first thing that was happening was it was probably just reducing the hash rate in general, because if you don't mine to Brains pool, I do believe you have like a 5% hash rate penalty, because they do take 5%. It's not a penalty, it's a dev fee. You can call it like that, or penalty, whatever you want to call it. I'm not exactly 100% sure on the percentages. Could be a little bit less. But after a while he was trying to figure out this issue with communicating with the license server, he figured out, well, it's not working. For whatever reason, there's no communication to the license server, and this piece of shit was not working as intended. He had so much trouble with it, and he couldn't do anything. His S21 was working perfectly. Yeah, they don't stop the hash rate. They take the hash rate at the pool side. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Um, so well, they do split basically a couple percentages of the hash rate over to their side. So that's how they do get paid, basically selling these things. But with this issue of communicating with the license server, his device was not useless, not 100% useless, but it was acting and it was making issues to him because he needed to switch a couple of things, and in the end it was not working. And I believe like a couple hours ago he texted me, well, now it's back up and it's running again. It does have communication with the license server again, so now it's working again. But for a period amount of time it was not able to hash at all, which is quite interesting because what we did when Brains released their, I don't know what they call it, the BM100 miner, the mini miner of Brains, the $300 1 terahash device, which is ridiculous and a piece of shit. It does have also the Brains hashboard or control board in there, and they claim it's like a nice new device. Well, you can just get a Bitaxe Gamma for $150 and have 1.2 terahash, overclock it to, I don't know, like 2.5 terahash. So, well, I don't know if that's a good catch, but it's enough of me shit talking about this. What we figured out really quickly was Duncan was getting this device and he was playing along with it. And what he pretty quickly did was blocking the IP address of the license server to figure out what will happen if this is the case. And guess what? It was not even starting to mine. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this. The dev fee situation is one thing. Creating your own control boards and providing an awesome web interface and awesome software in general is another thing. Combining these two is that's something out of hell. I don't know. Like the brand software in general is a good one, and it does provide plenty of nice features. So don't get me wrong on that. But having it like 100% needing communication with the dev pool, dev fee server or license server or whatsoever, that's stupid to me. They need to change this model. Otherwise, I'm always calling this out if people are asking me, like, what happens if Brain's servers go down? Well, we've seen it in small circumstances that probably your device will make you trouble. It's not certain that it will 100% not work, but it will definitely make you trouble. It will from time to time stop mining, or it will reduce its hash rate or whatsoever. It will disallow you to use functionalities, something like this, which is interesting, and I don't like it. And that's the reason why we are here, why all of these things that we are doing is trying to make the scene in mining way better. We do have so many ideas. Plenty of things get created. Some of them get scraped. Some of them get implemented. It's not enough time in the day to implement all of these things. We do have the bit card, for example, which is a Raspberry Pi baked onto a control board to make sure that you can communicate with your hashboard that way. The idea's there. The components are placed, but it's not 100% working, and it's not our highest priority. We do love the nerdy stuff about it, and we're not looking into creating things that are not as nerdy as we need them. I mean, obviously, the bit card, the control board replacement, if you want to call it like this, it is sort of working. You need to know your shit. You cannot just plug it in and it will work right away. That's not going to happen. You need to know the shit about Linux. You need to know how to utilize the Python miner created by Pmax. There are so many things that you need to know. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And maybe someday in the future we can take enough time to make a control board that's 100% open source, from the software to the hardware. There are plans, there are repositories out there. It's I say it's like half implemented, because basically it's there. You can take the control board, you can manufacture it, you can get the firmware, but you need to tweak it. You need to align it, you need to know all these things, and you need to know what needs to be stick together with other things in order to make it work. If you don't know that, it's a pain in the ass, but yeah, that's my 2 cents on all these things. HS Nathan was writing, I read about the brains in Avalon devices. I believe the terahash per power consumption is much better on the open source miners. Well, that is a debate. And let me be clear here. Generally, we have seen, for example, the Bitaxe being out there and achieving efficiencies with the BM1370 chip that is above the scope from what Bitmain itself was claiming. But you need to keep in mind we're just utilizing one chip. We have seen worse performance on the Bitaxe Hex, for example. It was not performing in the scope of the BM1366 that it was intended. So it was less efficient. But for the one chip devices, yeah, they're definitely better on the efficiency. But you cannot claim in general that the open source models, aka the Bitaxe, is better in efficiency. If you break it down to one single chip, probably. If we need to add more chips, you need to add more other environmental devices or ICs to it. You need to add other shit to it. You need to make sure all these things communicate with each other. You need to make sure that your voltage is flowing correctly and whatsoever. And the serial communication, which adds devices, and if you do have more devices, means there's more that could go wrong. Also, another thing that's really important about Bitmain's devices, for example, if you do get a hashboard from them, these chips are usually binned. What I mean by that is these chips, before they're sorted into that, they are quickly tested, I'd say, and it's made sure that they are in a specific scope. If they are above or below that, they will be put into another group. So what will happen usually on these voltage domains is it will be made sure on the production of these that they are in a specific scope in order to match efficiency and whatsoever, which is quite interesting. And it's a task that is highly sophisticated and not really easily to reproduce because either you need to have testing devices that are really, really capable and you need to know your shit. And I do assume Bitmain knows their stuff from time to time. Some of these hash boards are a bit chunky and funny, but most of the things they do is it's okay. We do have seen other manufacturers such as BitDeer being a little bit better when it comes to efficiency, but they are more into water cooling and hydro and whatsoever, if I'm not mistaken about that. So I wouldn't say in general that open source is better, but what we have done so far, yeah, you're correct. That's better. But it's like comparing apples to bananas, or I don't know, apple to cars. It doesn't make sense. And in some extent it does, but not always. Let me quickly take a sip. Feel free to ask any questions if you do have any. Let me quickly go over a couple other things. If you haven't checked out the channel Freezing Wind in Discord, that's also something I don't know why, but we do get way more people coming into this Discord that are interested in general and overclocking and stuff like this. I don't know, it doesn't catch me. I do have my Bitaxe. I made this benchmarking video a couple days ago, and seems like people are liking it and trying it and telling me, well, now it's performing way better. Good for you. Overclocking is probably one thing, and I like to have these devices being as silent and as less consumption-wise as possible. I don't like to pull 40, 50 watts out of my Bitaxe. That's not on my end. Are we on Delving Bitcoin? Is this a conference, Fox? Delving Bitcoin. I'm sorry, I don't know what this is. Delving Bitcoin. A place to dig deep into Bitcoin. It's foreign. It's a Bitcoin foreign alternate to the mailing list. delvingbitcoin.org. Yeah, I found it. We have been on the Bitcoins forum, but on Delving Bitcoin, I'm not sure. The Bitcoins firm, the original one, is these days it's not the same than back in the days. Like it's a piece of shit these days. Literally, there are so many angry people, so many people that are claiming stuff because they read something and they believe it, and now they the usual internet. You know, people they do hear something, they go out into the wild and they claim something is happening. Um, no, I'm not aware of delving Bitcoin in general. It would be nice if you do create a subforum. I don't know how this works or category about BitX. If you want to do that, I appreciate it. But I'm not aware about delving Bitcoin. Decentralized Mice is writing. Consider that here in Europe we have also absurd electric costs. I also do not really care to overclock for now. Yeah, I mean that's another thing. If you do spend, let's say, $7, 7 cents per day, or pennies, or 10 pennies per day, that doesn't make the cut. It's it's close to nothing. But well, it adds up over time, and yeah, I'm in Europe myself, so I don't know. My electricity price is currently sitting at like 40 cents per kilowatt hour, which is quite insane. And that's the reason why I upgraded today my solar setup. I hooked up two new solar panels on my carport and was making sure my battery does consume all of it and feed it right into my miners. I think I have currently 5 BitX running outside. They are running usually like 6 to 8 hours per day, which is okay. Sometimes they even run like 12 hours per day, which is totally fine. I just don't care if they don't mine through the night. Sure, that's my 10 minutes or seconds of not being able to find a block, but I care a little bit more about my pocket than that. it's it's much to argue about that, but and Crypto is totally right. Like, just use something that is producing $0 per kilowatt hours, and that's only solar. You need to invest in it, so uh, it's it's a double-sided sword because you need to invest in it in order to don't pay for it. So if you take a look into it as investment terms, you need to do your calculations. If you're just as crazy as he and I am, you just do it and it's gonna work and you're gonna love it and you get addicted and you buy more solar and you get even more addicted and then you're totally into this rabbit hole. Trust me, it is making you addicted. It's insane. Ah, jeez. I overclock due to the wanting of marginally increase my chances of hitting a block over time as I'm able to spin up more miners. That will change. Yeah, well, that's still the thing. You can definitely overclock your device. Um, what I always like to point out to the people, if they tell me they are overclocking their device to the limit of it, it's gonna degrade the device a little bit faster. We don't have enough proof of how much, but obviously, if you do put your electronics to 100% limit, it's not good for them. There's a reason why there is this 80/20 rule when it comes to electronics. Think about your cords that are running in your wall. If your electrician is coming out to you and is telling you, well, how much wattage do you want to run through these wires? And you tell them, I want to run 3,860 watts through one single wire, he's probably going to tell you, well, that's 100% of its capability. Don't do it. Reduces to like 3,600, 3,400. Only use 80% of the thing that it's capable of. And I stick to this. I don't want to go to 100% of what's capable of. Even with 80%, you're in a far beyond range of what you can do with overclocking. If you don't even go close to 80% of what's capable of this device, you're still overclocking and you're still doing good. So, yeah, do it. Okay, Netherlands, you're about 28 cents. But yeah. I mean, I look always into other parts of the globe, and I'm trying not to cry when I do see electricity prices, for example, in the US, where it's dirty cheap at some places, not always. If I'm not mistaken, the prices in New York, for example, have been increased lately, and it's going to be interesting. Okay, here's one example. Full31 was posting about his eco miner. So it does have 12 BM1370s, and it costs him roughly 6 cents per hour, one euro 50 per day, and its gain is about zero point 0.6 a day in BTC. Not zero point 0.6 BTC, but 60 cents a day in BTC. So you see, you lose at least half of what you put in there. Yeah, yeah. Zero point 0.6 euros, not zero point 0.6 BTC. Man, that would be insane. I would buy it straight up. Ah, goodness. Well, Phil, I do hope that there are a couple more of these boards laying around, and I don't know. I'm I'm always thinking about, should I make videos about like soldering other Bitaxes or other devices such as the NerdQX or what else is out there. It's time consuming, and I do have fear when it comes to 12 of the BM1370 chips. I do have fear about it. On the other hand, I want to try it. It's a hard decision. So let's see. We have a little bit of question about the GT. For those of you who are not aware about what the GT is, we do have the Bitaxe Gamma, the latest model, and soon there will be the GT, which is the Gamma Turbo. It's basically the Bitaxe Gamma times 2. That's it. When it comes to news, there's still a little bit of fine tuning going on when it comes to the hardware in general. Like Ben could tell a little bit more about it because he's testing it, and I'm still waiting to receive mine for testing as well. Ben, wink, wink. But yeah, apart from that, just testing. I'd say probably a couple of weeks. Then maybe it's out there in a couple of weeks. It's not the same as with other things. We we had this issue with the latest release of the Hex, for example, with the board version 3 or 4, where I was telling, yeah, well, just a couple of weeks. Months later, it was still not released. But that's not bad. I'm not blaming anybody. Even if it takes like half a year, that's totally fine. Like, it's people trying to spend their personal time on it, and I'd say 99 or 98% of the people that are doing it are not getting paid for it. And yeah, you cannot blame anybody who's doing this for free and making a fortune for all these resellers that are just grabbing these ideas and then reselling them. I'm not telling that's a bad thing. It's totally what it's about. And imagine, like, you created the device, and out of a sudden, like, thousands of people are known to this product, and they know that you've created it. How awesome is that? So, yeah, it's just like you spend personal time on it, and everybody needs to consider how to spend their personal life. I like to be in my bunker and sitting like 10 or 25 hours in front of my PC and do shit here. Other people prefer to be outside with their family. Obviously, I do that as well, but yeah, it takes time. Looking forward for the turbo. Yeah, I'm looking forward as well. I'm really looking forward as well. Guys, hammer me with questions if you do have any. Let me quickly look through what else we do have. In terms of news in general, yeah, well, we do see, it's quite interesting, we do see more and more pools coming online using the public pool software, which is also great. Like, not only are people using it on home, on their Start9 node or on their Umbra node, but also are some people going out there setting up servers and running the public pool software on it and just keeping the 0% dev fee or 0% fee in general on it. I've seen probably 1 or 2 pools who've adjusted their firmware and put on a fee into it. But yeah, if you choose to mine to solar pool with a fee, that's on your end. I don't know. What's the difference between the Bitaxe and NerdX, and do they both work with XOS? So, generally speaking, the Bitaxe does utilize a programming language called C. The NerdX firmware originally used a C variant and then switched over because PMax from this community here, who's the creator of the PyX, of the NerdQX, NerdQX Plus, NerdQX Plus Plus, and a couple other things as well. He is really great in C++, and he said multiple times, well, guys, we need to switch a couple of things because it's way easier to program it that way. We never really did because we stick with XOS, so he created a C++ version of it, modified it heavily, and now we do have these two things. We have the usual ESP miner, and we have ESP miner for the Nerd devices. And the difference basically is the Bitaxe is just the Bitaxe, and the NerdX, if you take the standard NerdX, there is like the NerdX Ultra, and I think BitMaker now released the Bitaxe, the NerdX Gamma. It's just taking the Bitaxe and attaching a beautiful screen to it. If you're stupid. Not stupid, but if you're saying it in a silly way. There are other features to it. It looks a little bit different, but basically it's doing the same. And both of them work just fine. I do have a NerdX myself laying around here. I do have too many of these little devices laying around here. I cannot plug all of them into my outlet. My wife would kill me, but well, basically they are the same, but you cannot run the firmware of the Bitaxe on the NerdX, and you cannot run the NerdX firmware on the Bitaxe. But that's not bad because it's totally fine. Well, Kevin, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how that's gonna work. Or what are you talking? We do have another good question. HS Nathan was asking, is it better to use a VPN while running Bitaxe? By the way, don't use camel cases. It's not Bitaxe, it's Bitaxe. Smaller, lowercase a, not an uppercase a. I probably made the mistake myself. Back in the days when like 2 and a couple years ago, I was creating the subreddit for Bitaxe, and I was stupid enough to write a upper letter A on the subreddit forum, and now I can no longer change it because you cannot change or modify or edit a fucking subreddit on Reddit. It's so stupid. I don't know why. Yeah, so I kind of created that, but it's just the B is uppercase, everything else is lowercase. I'm just trying to make this sure. It's like Stacy and Stacy. They get really mad when you spell it wrong. Totally, like I'm freak. Okay, guys, now it's something to laugh here because in Germany we do have plenty of people who are not capable of speaking English. I'd say we do have probably all of them are capable of understanding it, but speaking it not as your native language is probably hard. I mean, I myself, it took years to speak it fluent, I'd say. And the best thing that I ever heard was like Bitaxe. It was the best thing that I've ever heard. Or Nerdaxe. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my goodness. Ah, that hurts. It hurts. It's a pain, literally. But okay, let's get back to the question. Is it better to use a VPN while running a Bitaxe? The question itself is probably asked wrong because you don't want to use a VPN while running your Bitaxe. I don't get it. Are you trying to say you want to mine using a VPN? You want to mine to a pool, and in order to obfuscate your location or whatever, you want to use a VPN? Or is it like, yeah, Kendall? It's insane. It's insane. I'm getting mad every single time, and every time I'm on X and I listen to like a podcast or anything else or an event going on there, these live event thingies, and I do hear anybody pronouncing it wrong or spelling it wrong, I'm enraging. I'm hitting like request to speak, and the only thing I say it's not Bitaxe, it's Bitaxe, and I go out there again. So I'm sorry, switching topics here, but what you can do basically, you can use the VPN and mine through the VPN to any pool, but the best way to run your BitX would be to have your own node at home, run public pool or CK pool on it, because you can run the CK pool software yourself. It's open source as well, and you can just modify the dev fee to 0% if you want to do that, or you leave it in there and just say thanks to CK pool dev. That's also possible. Or you run public pool. That's also possible. And then you mine to your own node at home. If you don't change anything, for example, on Start9 or Umbrel, they will not communicate with the Bitcoin network in general over the ClearNet. They will only use the Tor network. It does have its own benefits and disadvantages. It's okay. But that's probably the best thing to do there. Hey, Scott, good to have you here. We are debating about pronouncing and spelling BitX wrong.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I hope your
It's
madness
the
gets in
Germans.
range.
I'm telling you.
Bitaxe.
Bitaxe.
No. You need to learn a little bit more German.
What? So, does this thing start at 3:00 now? Because I've just been sitting in the yard drinking iced tea all day.
Hey, Kendall.
Kendall.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
Wait, can you
Welcome.
hear me or no?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Scott?
No, like the so where are you where you're drinking iced tea? Also, congratulations on that.
I was just sitting in the yard because I thought it started at 4.
Oh. But yeah, the
no,
pronunciation has nothing to do with the language.
It does, because it makes sense to pronounce it like Bitaxe in German, because X. Germans are sometimes, I don't know, they like to pronounce every single letter in a word.
Yeah, but so for me, it's just look how Scott created it and see that the A is lowercase, and let's just go from there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there we go. What about the French or the
just
Spanish?
look at it. Like, just go on bitaxe.org. It's like super fast.
It's probably too much for
What's
I know.
We've got some French speakers in here. And we probably have some Spanish speakers too. How do they pronounce it?
Oh, that would be amazing to hear. Is anybody of you willing to come up on stage? I mean, stages are recorded.
Yeah,
so...
we need a French speaker. I'm very curious because they don't pronounce any syllables. Italian. All right, let's go. Let's hear it.
They don't pronounce any syllables.
Let's. I want to hear the Italian. Oh, Phil. I think Phil is French. Yes. Oh no, Mike. Come on. All right. Well. Okay. Dev list. French. Let's do it real quick. No pressure. How do we accept him? There he is. All right. Dev list.
Hey there. Do you have
we can't hear you.
I can hear him.
Oh.
You can hear him?
How do you say Bitaxe in French?
I can't hear him.
No, I can't hear him either.
Why can I hear him?
What? How can you hear him?
He said hi. Devless, say hi. Oh shoot, that broke.
Well,
it's like French, they like pronounce so few syllables that you actually can't hear anything.
It's like hi.
Something was
it's tricky.
Let's try it again.
I can't.
Put it on channel 3. Oh, he's on Linux. That's never gonna work.
That's funny. Joke.
All right. Well,
yeah. That's
probably not gonna.
Ubuntu.
All right. Well, I appreciate the effort. What about decentralized mind? Italian.
Let's hear that.
Italian is like they're like singing all the syllables. All right, decentralized mind. What do you got? I also can't hear you. Are you on Arch Linux as well?
Wait, mic settings. Okay, no win. Okay. Okay.
I think want clue work us.
The weirdest part about Discord is if I do start this stage here and I click on invite on or start event, I need to leave the event and join back in so that
Oh,
people can hear
really?
my mic.
Oh, interesting.
Because I asked to come up. So is that why you can hear me over them?
Yeah. If I would just
Huh.
join a stage that is already happening,
Right.
everybody can hear me straight up.
Right.
It's so
All right.
stupid.
So tell it is stupid. I guess tell them to drop down and then request. I don't know.
I mean, requests. Everybody.
Like, well, they need to request. I asked to come up.
People. I can invite them onto stage, and if they accept it, they will be dragged on the stage. If they don't accept it, they will not be dragged onto the stage. I'll try again. Yeah, give me a second. Here we go.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
Hey, guys.
Hey.
How you doing?
we're doing great. How are you?
Oh, fine. 10 o'clock in the evening here.
Oof.
So, what is your most favorite? What is the name of your most favorite open source Bitcoin miner?
Yeah, guess what? Bitaxe.
Bitaxe.
Yes, sir.
I
Oh,
love it. I love it.
tax.
One more time.
Bitaxe.
Yes, that's amazing.
No, as my excuse is, in July is gonna be 15 years I'm living out of Italy and mostly speaking English, like let's say 90% of the time. I related Italian only with my mother and just a few friends. That's it.
But you do have
Man.
definitely a tone to it, which is quite nice.
It is.
Thank you, thank you. I hope I'm gonna lose the Italian accent sooner or later. I know that it's gonna be almost impossible, but that's what I'm hoping for.
Why do you want to lose your accent?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Um,
You gotta
First off,
represent.
no.
Yeah, well, no, in a sarcastic way, no, I really left my country and I really hate it. So in any kind of point, I try to lose that Italian thing, let's say. Except the temper, that one I cannot lose it at all. Sorry to say, but yeah.
Imagine seeing somebody trying to make spaghetti in a pan.
Yeah, that one depends on how I'm gonna see the people cooking. I might get really on my edges. That's for sure.
Are
As
you
well,
slapping them right
coffee
away
making.
or waiting just a second before you do that?
No, I might wait. I might wait till the end, and then I would just fucking blown.
Oh, I need to ask you something. Do
For,
you
for
eat
good reason.
Yeah.
Do you eat spaghetti with a fork and a spoon or just a fork?
I did it a couple of times with a spoon, but just because it was
So confessing.
yeah, let's say it was a particular dinner, and I really didn't want to show
It's okay.
my.
It's okay. I'm sorry that you needed to do that.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I mean, it was just for the how to say bon ton, how they say in French. But no, usually I just fork them off and slam it into my mouth.
Yes. Italian food is the best food in Europe. Easy.
It is. It is. It is.
Yeah. Well, I can say also Czech food because I lived almost 10 years
I think great
in Prague,
food.
in Czech Republic, and man, that's fucking good.
It's not as good as Italian food. No way.
We have a.
You're who's
I will show
possible?
you. I will show you one day a picture. I will post it on X or here on Discord. I have basically a kind of Bible, which is called the Silver Spoon translated, which is a collection of all the recipe from north to south, from meat to fish, um, for instance, interiors like kidneys, stomachs, and stuff. Imagine something we have a recipe in this book. So we have really like a huge culinary tradition compared to maybe other countries. I know French. French has very similar culinary tradition as us.
Greek
But
food.
yeah,
Sorry.
Greek, for instance, I never eat it so
Oh
much.
my gosh, it's so good.
Now you
Yeah,
trigger
Greek
Yeah, I
food is
mean,
good.
somebody in the audience.
Like that's my
yeah, and
yeah.
I know Crypt also
Crystal, yeah.
would probably kick my
Yeah.
ass. But no, I really like. I never had the really chance to eat a properly Greek.
I only eat frogs.
Yeah,
He
I think
he was
PMax
feasting
is
me.
right. The French, they only eat frogs and snails, like just weird stuff. Like,
Okay, I freaking love frogs. Snails, I cannot eat anymore. I made indigestion when I was kid, and I cannot
Really?
eat. I cannot stand them. Yeah, but I ate basically a bowl, like a massive bowl when I was 5, 6 years old.
of snails?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's probably the interest.
I remember they was fucking good, man.
It's only because it was like swimming in some like delicious sauce or something, right? Like it's not like
they were
yum
they
yum.
were
I
in
love
like
snail meat.
they
I
were in
like how
tomato
like we all
sauce.
came up to argue about the capital A and we're talking about like fucking frogs and bowls.
I love it
Dude,
how the Bitaxe Townhall now
Duncan,
can switch
anything in
over.
garlic and butter is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's because of the garlic and butter.
sorry,
Also,
one clue. That's happening when some Italian might
It's
join
totally
the stage.
fine. I love
Sorry
food.
for
Like,
that.
No,
no.
we
I
all
love
came up
food.
here.
I love food.
Yeah.
Well, so this is also related to the topic at hand because Decentralized Mind has been killing it lately. You went from not having a electronics assembly background to making how many bit axes now? Hand building?
I have basically 4 up running right now. One I use as a
Wait,
testing board.
you handmade them?
Yeah. Literally,
That's badass.
and
That's
now I have one,
outside.
let's say, in a sell on some second-hand shop online here in the Netherlands. One which I supposed to finish today, but I came too late. So I just needed to solder the ASIC on it. And one which I want to finish tomorrow in a live stream, which I basically started the last Sunday.
They're
live
my
streaming.
favorite live streams.
Yeah, well,
that's the way.
this is,
I know.
let's say, in the same way, you guys helped me, tough me, all this knowledge. I was like, okay, it's time to give it back.
Yeah.
So I started.
I know it's very
now
helpful,
would be
like for.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. No, it is.
I'm still thinking about it. It's probably I was thinking about it like a couple months now. It's probably needed to have like a playlist or let's say 5 to 10 different videos on how to handmade your own Bitaxe from like what components do you need, what kind of
But
tools
also
do you need, and how
the
does it
kit,
work?
yeah, and the kits aren't available.
Does
So
Decentral no longer
that's
sell these do-it-yourself kits?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, well,
they've been out of stock.
There's a whole art to it. I mean,
Right.
figuring
I
out how to
know.
import
Okay.
the DigiKey, how to order the whole bomb.
Okay, so the kits that were available before are a different level, Scott, from like literally like ground up, right? So I think it's important that we have something in place. Like, I mean, how do we get I want other people to be able to build a Bitaxe.
Yeah, but for instance, because I get it so many times this question, and for so many times I keep sending this small thread I made weeks ago. The way I started, because I really want to, get my raw PCBs, get all the components and such, and I was like, yeah, good. I have no prior skills, or I know how to hold the heat gun, I know how to use the iron. I never solder anything on a PCB, and I found out on AliExpress they are selling bunch of, let's say, practicing board, which is just LED resistors, condensers, some integrated circuit. You just solder them, put electricity on, plug them in, and that's it. And I spent like, I don't know, from summer July last year to September, October, still last year, in just practicing until I got my first DIY kit from Decentral, which in the end I I shortcutted the first ASIC. So I had to wait another month before I got my first batch of ASIC chips from AliExpress.
It's so cool.
All
That's
the
so awesome to hear. Like, this is the way.
I
Like,
feel
it
two
is
ways
awesome.
about it. I feel two ways about it. Like it's not easy to get the kit. It's not easy to. I'm just saying, like as a dumb blonde, it's not easy to go from start to finish to build a Bitaxe, and when we can't get the kits, it's harder. And then we have I do love the YouTubes because that's literally like what I went off of. But then like I talked to you, Scott, and you're like, oh, put it in, like I'm saying a microwave, but it's not. It's
Oven.
yeah, thank you. That like like have the other like have an oven just for that. Like there's a lot more that we can do to help other people. Like if we kind of group together, if that makes sense.
that would be awesome.
I think you're right. We definitely need more educational material about it. But I think
No,
the
and we're not saying you're not doing bad. I'm just saying
we're
like
not saying
like I've watched
that.
your videos, but then I talked to Scott and he's like, use the convection oven, like
Definitely use
so
the
there's a
convection
break
oven.
in the work,
So much
right?
easier.
Like there's a fucking break.
It is.
It doesn't require any special skill. Like you literally just put the parts on top of the paste and put it in the
But that
oven.
that involves telling someone at some point.
You need
You need to have a steady hand anyways with the hot air gun.
Definitely yes. That's one. You're right.
It's just letting people know. Like we just need to let more people know.
Kendall, all right, we got a project for you. 2025. Kendall builds a Bitaxe from scratch.
No, I have
live streamed.
That is
do that. Of course.
Yeah, okay.
You can do this. Right. It's like
no, I know I can.
There's a lot of little parts.
Go back and
do I have to do it like scratch, like GitHub scratch? Like what are we talking?
I mean, talking like order the PCBs from China, order the parts from DigiKey, get yourself the tweezers, get yourself the toaster oven, the stencil, the paste.
I literally will, because I know we've talked about it before.
I mean,
it is frustrating.
It's not frustrating. It's like it's really enjoyable if you do it, especially if you do enjoy like.
Oh no, for me, no. I'm excited about it. I am. So my frustration lies with the lack of availability to everyone else. So like that the kits aren't available now. The
issue with that is probably that a couple of manufacturers, they try to do this. For example, Decentral, they had these half pre-assembled Bitaxes where you just need to put in 15 components and then you have your Bitaxe, which is then running. RGZ then from Spain, they were selling like completely bare PCBs where you need to put on all the ICs yourself, which is a pain in the ass if you never did it yourself, because these components 0402 is big, but we do have components on it that are 02, 01, and they are tiny. If you lose it and you don't have any spare ones, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's the reason why every time I make an order on DigiKey, I just order in especially resistor and capacitor, just a 2-3 extra every time. And now I'm finding out that I have about almost the parts to build another one.
Yeah.
just because every
All
time you
right,
buy it
so
extra, extra, extra.
I understand this. Um, you guys understand this. The rest of the world doesn't. So that's, I think that's a challenge we need to overcome. Like, how do we get it out there in a better way? I don't know.
I mean, Chris was
I,
pointing out
I will
he
do.
as a manufacturer has considered putting up kits, but with the issue
Who
of
ha-
these many components,
who
it's a
has?
challenge. Chris from IX Tech, uh, but he pointed it out.
Oh,
Like
I don't
basically,
know
the biggest
him.
issue with that, as like being someone as a seller and then selling these kits, is people will come back. They will ask you stuff. They they need your support. So if you as a seller want to sell these kits, basically you're in a really bad position because this customer will nag you for the next 15 weeks.
Really?
That's that's why we got to cut out the middleman. Just it's not hard. Like we can put together a video on how to do it, like how to order the parts from DigiKey
I already did
yourself.
that,
Yeah.
like literally, but people, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's hard for the people. All they want is like I press buy and it comes to my house. If they cannot
Yeah,
overcome this issue, sorry, I'm not here to educate you.
but this is an issue not only for that, but in generally nowadays, people just think, I order it and ding dong, there are there the pieces are at home, which
Yeah.
is not entirely true, because also like we put the boom on DigiKey, some parts are out of stock, and you need to look for the alternative. Alternative, as I learned by myself, I order, for instance, the C41 on the Supra 401. That I thought, yeah, similar, was marked on DigiKey.
Yeah.
In the end, you Scott told me, yeah, but look, this is a completely different value. Your board it will never work. And then I checked it. I was like, oh, shoot, yeah, you're right. It was something, some specifics wasn't correct. So also like, if we want to do this kind of videos, we have really to go into the details, because this is, for instance, issues I faced by myself, and now okay, if I really cannot understand some parts, I'm gonna ask it here on Discord. Um, People are, I don't know, lazy maybe is the wrong word,
Mm-mm.
but they simply don't want to do that step. They just want to have
So
it.
Yeah.
I think like a part of it might like it is challenging. I've watched your videos. Um and going from like like what's like a parts list, and then watching like your videos. I mean it is a lot. Like it was challenging for me. I would love to make it easier for everyone. And I get what you're saying, like, okay, people are gonna be like bratty about um I don't know, like help me here, but maybe there's a middle ground we can find. It would be nice.
We could try to break down as much as we can all the steps,
Because yeah,
even the
well,
steps itself of DigiKey.
I think for me, like it was the parts that were harder. Like I couldn't get a kit, right? And then like the parts are so like it was so many. Like that was overwhelming for me. So maybe a middle ground that
I
way.
mean,
I don't know.
we kind of have discussed about a solution for this. Scott and I, we discussed about this multiple times. What would be nice would be
Sorry,
to
I
have.
wasn't there for it.
No, it's fine. It's what would be needed probably to get more people into this is not to try to get them into soldering their own one, but we need to design a Bitaxe that you can just plug together, like pieces on extra PCBs that attach to each other, like Lego.
I was
Yeah.
dreaming about it the first time I soldered
Mm.
the ASIC, because I was sweating literally the 7 different t-shirts. And I was like, why is not that easy, like a CPU on a computer board that I just, I follow the pin. Okay, this has to go here. Pluff. I put it in. I close the lock. Hazik is done. That, but yeah, that would be great if could.
But Wonklu, like, we want people to be able to build them,
Of course, of course. But
right?
as Crypto Eyes also pointed out in the chat, not everybody can build one. Like some of these people are really interested
Yeah.
in seeing it and
Sorry.
trying to watch it or anything else, but they don't want to get through the hurdle because they do know at least it needs time, and that's what the people don't
Yeah.
have today. They don't have time. They don't want to spend time. That people like us are in here and spending hours, weeks, even years about this open source stuff that we're doing. That's rare.
Yeah. I think it's like the care and the importance, I guess, that I'm
I mean, to be
like
honest,
that's so much to me. So I'm like, okay, everyone fucking gets it. Like this is so important for life.
I
Like
mean,
let's decentralize, let's be able to build our own
yeah,
like
the
Yeah, I
easiest
think that
thing
but
for
yeah.
you
what
to
Avril
do,
says, and
yeah,
what Chris was saying too, is that like any company that's going to sell a kit is just going to have a lot of work
I
for
know.
uh, putting this
But they're
together
not
and
even
supporting it.
selling the kits. Like where can you get a kit?
I mean, I think that's why they're not selling the kits. Is just because
correct.
it's a
Right.
lot of work for not like a lot of sales, right? It's just like
It's
the
for the okay. So but this is what we're doing. It's for the importance. It's for like the understanding of it.
Yeah,
I think we
No
could.
one's getting a fucking kit like so that they can like make bang off of it. Like they're doing it to understand it.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. It's just in order for the support overhead to be worth it, I think that these sellers need to be doing a lot of volume.
Yeah.
But we, what Wonklu says is we could make a easier to assemble Bitaxe, right? We should just use like all 1206 components, the big ones,
12 or
put
6.
everything on one side,
Yeah,
have the ASIC be on a castellated module, have a snap-in voltage regulator. I think that could work. And as long as it's all stuff that you can get from like Adafruit or DigiKey, I think we could
Hmm.
make something like that, especially if it was like the old like BM1366 ASIC, because I think you can just get those from AliExpress.
yeah, definitely.
For really cheap money,
Another
as far
thing
as I saw.
Yeah.
is to consider here, plenty of these people are a little bit in fear when it comes to the component size. As you pointed out, like 1206 is really big, but there are other sizes like 0402 or 04 or 0805, for example. They're really easy to solder. And if you're really just looking into getting yourself soldering and trying out Kendall, you probably do have a Raspberry Pi laying around. At least I do hope so. Then just try to build yourself a Pi-X, which is a head for the Raspberry Pi. It's a Bitaxe that you attach to your Raspberry Pi, and it does have huge component sizes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the heatsink, that was the same heatsink as the Bitaxe. So I guess you still got to solder the ASIC.
Yes.
But what which ASIC did the Pi
The Ultra.
Axe use? The Ultra.
Mm.
All right, that's a pretty good case. I mean, and it's a hat for a Raspberry Pi.
Mm.
So like this is the stuff that should be live for everyone. Cause like how do the rest of the world know? Like I get taught stuff and I'm like telling Scott I don't know what's going on in my life. How do I build this? Right?
Well,
No, and
it's
so my point is like, okay, so how does like all this get public? Public.
I think you do it.
Okay.
We're
No.
doing good. We're doing good. We're getting
No, I
there.
will.
mean, just watch what we did over the past 2.5, 3 years. It's insane.
It's so good. Yeah.
I mean,
I've been using the Pi Axe uses Pi Miner.
yeah.
And I've actually been working on that quite a bit this last week. I'm using it for the Ember 1 to test it out. It's pretty cool. It works. It's cool because it's in Python too, because it's not like that hard to understand how it works. So if you wanted to dig in to the
original
firmware
QX
side of
QX
things,
also uses it.
the QX uses Pi Miner.
Yeah, the original one. You need to plug it into another PC. It doesn't
Oh, really?
have a IC on board. Yeah.
Oh, it's not a nerd. That's the
No,
nerd series,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It has
it's the
the.
original QX. I had one. Then I
There you
destroyed
go.
it. Then PMax repaired it once for me, and then I destroyed it again.
There you go. That's what you do. If you're not breaking stuff, you're either not doing it or you're a wuss. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Chris
completely.
said, you need a easy to build kit that's super reliable, and we're not there yet.
Well, anyway, we're
Ah,
sitting
That's
Phil.
here
what
at
All
we'll
right,
1 hour
solve.
enjoy
and
your
No,
20
that's
frog.
minutes
what we're trying to
already.
solve.
Phil's gonna go have some frogs, snails, and delicious wine.
All right, we're already sitting here at 1 hour and 25 minutes,
Sorry.
so I'm about to close this town hall for today. It was really good talking to everybody of you and swapping the topic from bit eggs and open source and mining in general over to food, which is always nice. I love food.
Yeah.
But I'd suggest that we just go down into the general chat, especially everybody in the audience who's not willing to come up on stage on something that's recorded as town hall. But till then, do you guys have anything else to say that you want to talk about before we do close this session?
Actually, thank you guys to brought me here on the town hall. So I think I'll follow you in the general chat in a bit.
Thanks for joining us. You've been killing it, by the way, man. I've been following what you're doing on Twitter and really appreciate all the content you're putting together for people just getting into this. Like
Oh,
this is
And
the
thank you
way.
guys
This is how we
for
spread it.
thank you guys
all three of you, like,
for
thank
giving me
you
these
for what
possibilities.
you're contributing, like all three of you.
Cheers.
Fun.
Thanks for letting me complain about the capital A.
Thanks for coming up here and complaining. I don't know who uses the capital A. That is so busted.
Like I will,
The subreddit.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Someone created that Reddit group with a capital A. I don't know.
Probably a dickhead. Anyway, I thank everybody in the
Anyway,
audience for
Juan
being
Clue
here.
is a legend. You get a pass because you're an absolute legend, and we really appreciate everything that you're doing. Like, dude shows up all the time and is like
I love
taking
you.
on the thankless task of the infinite to keep this ESP miner GitHub repo on the rails. Oh my God. I don't know if everyone here sees all the madness that happens in the ESP miner GitHub repository, but there's so much. We're getting PRs all over the place. We're getting issues. Wanclu is holding down the fort and getting releases out that actually work, and dealing with me, who's just complaining all the time, and then not actually testing anyone's PRs. So really appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you. That's really nice.
Want Clue is the man, says Agent James, 100%.
Mm.
Aw. All right, enough of that.
I know. It's so much love, and it's so much love.
So much love. Dude, we got 29 people here.
Yeah, that's definitely.
We changed it. We moved it an hour forward this time, right? I'm not going insane.
I haven't expressed myself to this topic that you previously already talked about, because we do have daylight saving here in Germany as well, and last weekend kicked in, and
you just established.
Yeah.
I learned that like we're not on the same schedule.
It's insane.
Y'all just had it like May 31st.
No, we had it last weekend. I don't know what date this was. I'm
Yeah.
totally confused.
Was between Saturday and Sunday,
It was
something like that.
Yeah, from the 29th to the 13th of March.
Oh my God, daylight savings time is a hoax.
It's May 31st.
Waking
Like
up
it, yeah.
and the whole world's still just 1 hour off of you. My day is too short to do all the things we need to do, and now I got 1 hour less. Fuck it.
Yeah, but we all had to play this game like before, and then
We already did it.
Europe was like, "No, we'll do it weeks later. Like we'll be a couple hours apart until May 31st." Like just weird. I don't know. I don't know why we can't all plan it on the same day.
It's like, I'm a farmer and I don't want my workers to have to like work in the dark. So I'm going to change the entire world's time instead of just like change the schedule.
Do we use in the future the what's it called? There's like the sets clock, you know, where you have like a clock of how much dollar you pay per set. Moscow
Okay.
time. Moscow time. There we go.
Oh, Moscow time. Yeah, that's right.
We can use that in the future to make the next town hall. We probably never
Just
meet
Moscow
again.
time. Until Moscow's like, oh yeah, we do daylight savings time also, and then we're like, fuck.
No, I'm not talking about Moscow. I'm talking about Moscow time. Like,
Was that
it's a
Moscow
Bitcoin
time was
thing.
a joke? Someone thought that Jack Dorsey had like Moscow time when it was actually, was it the like block height or the
It was the price of one set or 100 or 1,000 sets. I don't know.
or sats per dollar or something
No,
like
no,
that? Okay.
$1 per set. So that's the calculation. $1
That's
per
per-
set, and that's the Moscow time. Yeah, it's totally hilarious. And in Germany, for example, we do have a couple of podcasts who are always introducing their podcast with the Moscow time, which is quite funny.
Well, I think that would be pretty confusing if we switched the world's time to be the price of Bitcoin. It does change a lot.
I mean,
We
it's not
are all
changing for me.
quiet, like,
It's not changing for me. One Bitcoin is still one Bitcoin.
Fair enough.
All right. It's always one. The time is always
Yes,
one.
Is
It's
you
there
make
easy. What
any-
time is it? It's one.
Yeah, is there any other currency out there? I don't know this. All these shit
I don't know.
cryptocurrencies, euro, US
Yeah.
dollar. What's this shit?
Bunch of shit.
All right, we're sitting here 1 hour
All
and
right.
30 minutes already. I thank everybody for tuning in here. It was really awesome to have you up on stage here as well. And everybody in the audience, thank you for joining in here and listening to the bullshit that we're usually talking here about, apart from all the news that are hopefully interesting. And for everybody who's listening to this later on, thanks for being here. And don't miss out. If you want to join this Discord, make sure to go to discord.gg/OSMU. See you then. Love you. Fuck all the proprietary miners. We're gonna kill it. Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Bye.